I can't make out anything.
Oh, that's good. Hopefully it won't be too bad here. It's a pretty quiet place.
It's like those like soundtracks of like coffee shop background noise. You ever heard those? Like for focusing or whatever, you can like.
Really?
Yeah, you can play. It's like I don't know, give you the coffee shop atmosphere in the comfort of your own home or something. I don't know.
Did you try that? Did it work?
No, I don't like those things. But
yeah, me neither. I mean, you have a beautiful spot for silence and just bird noises.
Yeah, or I'll listen to music often, but like people talking that you can't like quite hear what they're saying is kind of annoying.
Yeah. That's so funny, dude. I didn't imagine you as a music person.
Yeah, I don't know. Like half the day I listen to music.
Wow, that's a lot of music, man.
Yeah.
Do you? What do you listen to?
Just random. I don't know. Things without words, pretty much.
Yeah. Hardcore death metal.
Oh shit, sorry.
It's okay. It doesn't sound so bad.
I see you.
Hey guys.
Hey everyone.
Mm-hmm. We'll wait a few more minutes to see if anyone else shows up.
I prepared a note, Griff. It's okay.
What?
I prepared a note because I see you in here.
Oh, you're a gem. Are you gonna try to do sand cats, or I actually have something working if you wanna. Here's the.
Just share it then.
I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
There's not really
for art. There's what?
There's really not much in there besides the besides this. Yeah, besides what you see, which is not much.
Yeah.
Are you coming to the meeting, Alex, or you don't? You are? You're in? Okay, Alex is in. Oh, we got Oz double timing. I'll kick the old one out. Let's see. Hey, Oz. Well, I think that we have quorum to start the what did you do this week? Does anyone want to start?
Sure, I can go. Okay, so I did social follow-up in general, so responding to FTC messages, retweeting some stuff for Scaling Now that was still there as well. I did reward tau, point dishing, and send a reminder for people to make videos. I updated after 2 weeks the com meeting sheet and held the com meeting and did some follow-up on those points. Then I discussed with Clio for the Scaling Now texts, and for the Scaling Now videos, I added texts and tags to all the videos and search for the names of all the presenters, etc. And then some questions from people and DMs in our own Riot and Slack. And then final feedback round, I think I hope for the video. The team video, so the mythical video is almost there as well. So that's it for now, and some more is coming up tomorrow. And yeah, whoever else wants to go.
Oh, you gotta pick.
Yeah, okay. Kai?
Yeah, I'm still in the process of getting together. So since last week, yeah, we had no meeting last week. So since back then, I was doing Scaling Now conference, the videos of the conference, the leaderboard of the conference. Still was still busy with the videos until early this week, handing stuff off also to Web3 so they could re-release the footage. I did lots of traveling. I hope I can help to tie up some loose ends for also Scaling Now, the notes or articles that come out of here. Yeah, lots on my plate too, but yeah, this is what I did. RJ.
Yes. Obviously traveled back from Paris, and then today I've been working on trying to fix that authentication bug with the file uploads. Yeah, and then the finishing the liquid pledging, I guess, is on the docket for the rest of the day as well, or more work on liquid pledging. So, Linz?
This week, I put all the costs together for Scaling Now and proposed some of the milestones under that campaign and broke down the costs per day, per person, and collected all the receipts and evidence I needed for that. And I did my very best to try to point out as many bugs as possible with the DApp, and worked a lot with RJ, Satya, and everyone on the team and Wojtek to try to get through that and keep working on them, and worked a lot on Decentral for Burning Man and some of that project. So kept me busy, and now on to Alex.
So I started working on the .NET hardware solution.
We can't really hear you.
No.
Where's your mic? I can hear myself better than
Safe coding governance security.
How about now? Can you guys hear me?
No, I can still hear myself better than. For now, I'll start going. So
Okay.
Oh, never mind. You can go first.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm having some mic issues. I started working on the DApp node and got the hardware selection down for the initial version, and then started working, looking at the VPN and getting it to do what it needs to do in order to work for the DApp node. And then I started looking into a bug in Feathers that is causing some issue when compiling when you do npm install, but I haven't gotten too far with it. That's it. So now choose Oz.
It doesn't really make any sense. Hey guys, so let's see. Getting back to life after Paris. Not a ton of stuff for Giveth directly. I jumped on the ethcan project, which I'm still catching up on, but I got to meet with the team, and so digging into that, I wrote a blog post that took way too long about a conversation at Paris. Also doing some stuff for SnapProof, and that's it. Let's see. Yalda.
Hi, it's my first time on these calls. I thought I'd stop by. So am I just explaining what I did the past few weeks?
Yeah, the past week, generally.
Past week. I don't know if there was anything directly related to Giveth. Not quite yet. I was in Paris, hung out with the crew, met the crew. That was awesome. Started brainstorming different ideas, and yeah, Circon proposal thing. I don't know if that was a week ago. That might have been a week ago. So. Which is somewhat related to, well, it's related to the social coding stuff. So. Do I have to call on someone now?
Yeah, and it looks like it's either me or Satya, or yeah, did Kai go?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kai did. So it's Satya or I. You get to pick.
Okay, Satya.
Hey, here I am. So I'm a little bit distracted because
I think nobody can hear Satya, or is it just me?
No, he's full on disconnected. That was a hard cutout.
All right.
We're very patient people.
Hey, Satya, I'll go, and then we'll try you again. So this week I started working on DApp Node a little bit with the team here, mostly just coordination stuff. Same with ethcan, coordinating and talking to the teams, making sure people have any idea on what Giveth can do to support them. Also talk with Aragon and Status and a few other teams about the POA network, potentials, but very briefly, mostly at FCC. Coordinated a bunch of stuff with scaling now, trying to finish that out, and so we can get it done. I have a lot of work to do actually still on that, and I might have to do another couple of videos. Had some really cool phone calls with people, especially this Nydia from Social Alpha Foundation, who just came in the contributors channel and wants to fund social. It's a blockchain-based social project, so they're going to do it the old-fashioned way, just throw money at people. So that's kind of cool. We did a lot of networking at FCC. Talked with a lot of interesting people. Explained Giveth through the talk, through the actual talk I gave during Paris, which is really good, and I think explains Giveth if anyone has half an hour to watch it. So it's still a little long, but really fun. I've been watching a lot of those videos myself, trying to catch up with everybody. I think I have like 20 more to watch, and then coordinating things with Jordy on local projects tier that he's working on. Really starting to pick apart the details for an identity project that we want to push forward. Hopefully we'll be talking with Bright ID a little bit about it, but it has a little bit of a different setup and use case. But also coordinating with circles and talking to them, seeing if they want to. I think they want to be a campaign in Giveth, so working to see what they're going to do a meetup tomorrow, and we're going to talk about the potential of getting them on here probably next week. Met with a guy from Human Ventures and Kai's friends. Human Ventures is like a Russian group of rich guys that want to fund projects and use Giveth and be a DAC. And then there's also Kai had a friend who's doing a campaign that's like solar panels and electric vehicles that would be really cool to do on Giveth one day. Working with Linz to do a bunch of milestones and all the things that Lindsay is doing, which is always fun. And then dishing a bunch of points, still finishing that up. But yeah, and then all the little things, just talking to people. Okay, how about Sacha?
Yes. So sorry about it. Yeah, I've been working on the DApp this week, basically fixing bugs and issues, and now I'm trying to get the contracts running locally, or at least compiling and testing, so that I can help RJ tokenizing and moving to Aragon OS, and that's basically my week. So yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Everybody went. And
I think that's everyone. Edu came and left, so I guess we'll skip him today. Okay, well, we only have one issue that came up in Lumio, and that's making a campaign for DApp node. And I do kind of want to spread this out to be a more general, at least reaction round around adding campaigns to Giveth. So specifically DApp, so the tension is we don't have like a real direct route on adding campaigns. And actually there's a little bit of a tension around like whether or not we should have campaigns here.
You're just skipping everything, man. Logistics, check-in.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you. Let's do check-in. Sorry, I got excited using Sacha's old style. Okay, so let's do a quick check-in. I'm distracted by, so it's distraction, intention, and toggling on. And Yalda, you are toggled off because it's your first meeting. So my intention is to have a good meeting and talk about this proposal. My distractions are I'm in this restaurant with everybody who's also needs to mute when it's their turn. Speaking of muting when it's their turn, how about Linz?
Turn myself back on. Well, my intention for this meeting is to really listen and see where I can learn and pick up more responsibility or any opportunity to really help everybody on the team. My distraction is probably very similar to Griff's because I hear him talking before I'm here. But other than that, I feel really focused and ready to go. And then I will toggle to Chris.
Yeah, my intention is to hear more about the DApp campaign, also because the DApp node, because I heard DApp node a few times, but I'm interested to know what it is, and also about the possible upcoming meeting because I saw a Lumio proposal for that one as well, and no distractions. And I give it to Alex.
All right, can you guys hear me now? Better?
Too well.
Okay. Well, that's good enough for me, I guess.
Yeah, for the MVP, you might start with the multi-system
also restaurant.
transition to this as you feel comfortable with it, right? Because this is not.
And to talk about DAppNet on YouTube. That's it. I guess I'll toggle on. And with that, I'll pass it to Kai.
Governance. It's more like.
Kai, it's on you.
Oh man, you sounded like a crazy robot there, Alex.
That's how you normally sound, Kai, when you have your mic issues. Now you hear it.
Hey, you jinxing it, man. It's nothing I can do. So yeah, I'm focused. I'm writing the notes and also very interested in yeah, having some more glue here for the depth node. It's I would love to even talk more about all the things Griff just said, the circles, but maybe we can do it after the official meeting. So yeah, I'm excited to hear what what the agenda item is about and give it to us.
Cool. So yeah, just excited to have a cool meeting. Glad to see your guys' faces. DAppNode seems pretty simple and legit, so from what I know, but yeah, I'll pass it on to Lindsay.
I already went, but I can talk more if you want to hear me talk.
RJ, sorry, I just go down the list.
Yeah, so I guess intention is to figure out campaign onboarding process. And yeah, so that's it. A little distracted here with feathers. Satya, you still here?
I am. I'm distracted because I'm eating. My intention is, well, I don't have any intentions. What else? Well, I guess then it's Kai, RJ. Who didn't go? Lindsay? No, it went.
Yalda.
Man. Yalda, you're going.
Am I supposed to go? I didn't understand the toggle off thing.
It's just for the next round. You still get to check in and check out. It's just during the actual talking.
What?
During the actual round, the round robin that we do after this, which you've never seen before, you get to sit it out. But for the check in and check out, you get to hang out.
Okay. Okay. So it was my intention. Yeah, I'm curious to finally attend the first governance meeting. It's at 6 p.m. because I'm still in Europe as opposed to 8 a.m. So that's nice. And distractions. I'm at a cafe, but it's not that bad. I forget what the other one was. Tension? I don't feel any tension. I'm just trying to figure out how this all works. And yeah, I'm excited.
And then pick someone.
Okay, who did not go? Did Oz go?
Chris didn't go.
Chris.
I did go.
Did everyone go?
Everybody went.
Okay.
We can proceed with agenda, Griff.
Okay. Yeah. So the logistics or whatever is we just Yalda can't talk, but it sounds like everyone else is down. So make sure we find them. Yalda's just watching. And other than that, we have one item on the list. It's this Lumio for this, and I proposed it. So
Griff, what about the second agenda? What about the meeting? Because that's the thing I asked in check-in. You wanted
that was proposed too close to the meeting day. We have a rule that has to be 12 hours before the governance meeting.
Okay.
So no one's had a chance to really look at it, and the feedback will be better in Lumio, and then we bring it to the governance meeting.
Okay.
At least those are the rules. Oh, rules. Anyway, so I posted the Lumio link in the chat to the left. If you check that little chat box, you can see what we're talking about. And I want this proposal to be also a little bit more general about onboarding campaigns, just checking in with everybody about what you guys think make for a good campaign, especially considering the future campaigns that are likely to be pushed to be on here, which is like EthCan, which is another one of Oz's campaigns that he's working on, and Circles, which is actually an external campaign, but is very aligned with Giveth. So, yeah. The main tension specifically for DAppNode is that, hey, they need to start paying out people, specifically Edu, who's really leading the project, needs has it set up with Swarm City where he gets paid through milestones. So it'd be really nice to get this one through. My proposal is that we add him as a campaign. Edu and their team will make a multi-sig and do the same thing that Scaling Now did for their events, except it'll be more of a continual campaign that will actually raise funds. Let's see. So clarifying questions.
Oracle security module basically like a medianizer, but with like a little bit of
No clarifying questions? Okay. Oh, and Ed is here. Okay, well then let's go for a reaction round. And Edu, why don't you start it off and tell us about DAppNode?
Well, I think I've been talking a lot about DAppNode with all of you, or the most part. I'm very excited about this project. I think it's a very cool project. Well, we are trying to start to working more hard on the project, and yeah, well, we need to start to get some money for the people. So I think it's very cool to do that through the app. So this is all. I don't know. The next one maybe Artie.
Who?
Did you say me?
Yes.
Yeah. I think in general, I don't know if we should be onboarding campaigns to the DApp right now. I think it's until it's, I don't think it's ready. And I think it just is like this convoluted accounting software that halfway works. Until you can actually, like, tokens and everything are integrated, like that's when I feel like we should be onboarding stuff. Not that I have anything, like, I like DAppNode. I think it's a great project and I think it should be on like the DApp eventually, but I don't think the DApp is quite like user friendly or I guess I don't really see much value add. It just seems like it complicates the process because they're still going to have their own multi-sig to raise funds and whatnot. Yeah, that's my opinion. Oz?
Hey, yeah, so I pretty much share that opinion when it comes to like steady as she goes with the DApp. I was hoping that Snapproof, since it like is mine, would be like a good, and then we have the Scaling Now would be like a good, just see how it works, and then like just like a good, what do you call that, lab rat. But I guess so I was going to try to follow what Scaling Now did, and yeah, I'm not expecting it to be easy, but I was expecting basically to figure it out and then see where we are in position for like other stuff. That was just my own personal agenda, though. I'm sure other people had similar testing plans. But the fact is that the DApp is a lot of friction to getting anything done. And it's supposed to be that way in a way, but then also we're still learning to make it as painless as possible. So I'll pass it on to Kai.
Okay, so I also think it's too early, unfortunately, to use Giveth. Seems to add a lot of overhead and yeah, maybe even making the process more complicated. I would suggest just making this multi-sig, like in the proposal. You said you would make a multi-sig and then maybe wait for the, never mind, make a multi-sig. I wanted to say wait for Gnosis safe, but it's a few months off. But you can use our leaderboard in the meantime if you just want to say, hey, this is our official address. This is how we collect donations. You can also use GitHub bounty systems. So I would suggest until Giveth is ready, and it shouldn't be far off, right? We use workaround systems and yeah. Satya.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion. I think everybody should, especially from the core team, should be able to create a campaign, and then you can use it for accounting, I guess, and playing around, and we get more feedback. So that's also always good. So, and apart from that, I go with RJ's vision it would be better to wait a couple of weeks. But then again, we are not waiting. So if it's just from the core team, I guess it's fine. Who didn't go? Chris, did you go?
Yeah. I think it's always good to get more feedback from people, especially indeed if it's from the people we know. I think it's a good idea what Kai proposed, to use the leaderboard for actually getting getting some money in. But if it's only Edu who would be like doing the administration on our DApp and not bringing other people in, I don't think there's really an issue. The main feedback is like, let's indeed, until we're ready, not bring in other people because it's still a bit clunky at this point. So that would be my feedback. And I think, Griff, you did it. Lindsay?
Yeah, thanks. I really agree with what you said, Chris, and I think we should consider that, like what Griff said in the beginning when he proposed this, that some people, like Edu, probably only can get paid through this avenue. So if it's not that we're all proposing milestones, everything, it's really just kind of internal, that we should consider giving it a go for that reason. Alda or Alex?
Okay. All right. So I think that we have enough Giveth people that know how it works, so it won't really be that much of an issue. Plus, not really anybody voted on Lumio against it, and Lumio's king.
The hardware wallet will be
That's all I
the
got.
only way to get MKR out.
I don't know who needs to go next. I think, I guess.
Did everyone go?
Exactly.
Okay, I think everyone went. It's so hard with so many people. So amend and clarify. I appreciate the objections, and I do think that, especially with the general onboarding, for instance, of potentially onboarding circles, I think that that's really important feedback, that we probably should only focus on onboarding people that are part of Giveth. But there's this one key piece that is really important that I think was overlooked by most of the objections, is that Edu gets paid through Swarm City, through that old school deal where so he can invoice to our multi-send contract. In our multi-send contract, then he can pay taxes on funds that he received through our multi-send contract. So we have built this, DAO link type system that will really be tested via DApp node and our own stuff. And so I think it's really important that he has the opportunity to use that, and maybe that will be something that we use more and more. But yeah, so I guess I'm gonna propose to onboard DApp node, and I'm excited to hear objections if anyone has any. But that I propose that we make a DApp node campaign. They make a multi-sig. That multi-sig will have 5 Giveth people: Edu, Jordy, Cleo, Alex, and I on it, and one person who's only on this team, whose name is Lion Dap. He's the only outsider that's not part of Giveth. And then we we let them do the tests. Any objections?
Shouldn't it be 3 words?
Say that again.
Shouldn't it be just 3 words so everybody understands the new proposal?
So the proposal, well, that's the agenda stuff, but yeah, I can make the proposal more succinct. We onboard DApp node as a campaign, mostly so that Edu can pay taxes on the payments that he receives. Any objections?
I don't have an objection. Really, more just like I don't see how DAP or like having a campaign makes like he can invoice a multi-sig or something. But anyways, it's if he wants to do is accounting through the DAP, by all means, go for it.
Okay. So we got. I think we got consent. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you guys. That's that. We can check out and we can do a fireside chat for like 20 minutes if you guys would like. So, but we can check out and anyone who needs to go can go. So thank you guys for the quick decision. I'm glad that there was some good debate and that everyone got to be heard, even though we went with a decision. I hope that we can talk about it more after this. How about Edu?
Hi guys. Well, it's nice to have another point of view. It's good to see that. Know the real status of the DApp, because for me, I think that it was more prepared for this. But it's cool to know that. Yeah, it's cool. So next one, Alex.
I agree with what Adi said. It's nice to hear everybody else's opinion. And also, we got to make sure to stay vigilant about Lumia, so we can get more decisions on there.
On the topic of
and I'll pass it to Chris.
Yeah, good, efficient, short meeting. So thanks, and I give it to Satya.
Yes, it was nice. I like short meetings. It was cool. Nice to see some of you. Next is Oz.
Hey, thanks, guys. Great meeting. I'll pass it to Kai. Did you go? Lindsay, did you go?
No, I didn't. Yeah, thanks. Great short meeting. Maybe a little very short because the topic is very deep. But yeah, so hope to talk more about that. So thank you guys for coming. And yeah, Lindsay. And don't forget Yaldan again.
Thank God.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just still getting to know the process and how you guys make decisions, and getting very much just barely comfortable with Lumio. So thanks for letting me be a part of it. I think you guys are all just amazing, and I'm so happy I'm part of the family. And so on to Yelda. Maybe Yelda's not with us anymore. Then
she's the last person.
Okay. So that's the end of our list.
I think that's it. So, fireside chat. RJ, I feel like we need to hear more of your opinions on this, if you don't mind talking more. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's just like a convoluted accounting tool right now. Like it's centralized. Like I don't see how like if the milestone thing, like a GitHub bounty would work just as good or something for Edu's case, I guess, right? Like where it's like, I don't know, we're just a centralized accounting tool. That's very clunky, I guess. Like, that's how I see the DApp as of right now.
What about the opportunities for user testing or also sharing name recognition?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, to me, using the DApp is not an easy process, and it just makes everything slower and more difficult. And so that is almost like a negative brand recognition. But it's also like the only people using it are internal, so it's not that negative, right? Because they all understand like where it is and where it's going. But yeah, and like for X, I mean, yeah. It's just like a showcase, right? Really, is all the DApp is right now. Like, oh, look, this is what we want to do, and this is what we've done.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, I think the big thing that they'll use is probably what we made for Scaling Now, which is that leaderboard. And at least for me, what excites me about them using it is that they'll be incentivized to make more tools like that leaderboard that we don't even know that we need, that like become a piece of the DApp or become a piece of Giveth. But I don't know. Does anyone else have a thought on it? No? We can also talk about a more broader topic, which is onboarding in general. Sounds like RJ's pretty steadfast against us onboarding anyone external to the DApp for sure.
Well,
or external.
I don't care, right? It's more just like personally, I would not want to use the DApp. And so like the amount of friction involved or like brought into the process is so high. Like it's like, well, I would choose another route at this current stage. So if somebody else doesn't care and they're excited to use it, I mean, that's fine by me. They're the ones that are going to have to do the extra work.
But RJ, where do you feel like there's the friction then?
Well, I think it's just an accounting tool right now, right? Like it's just, that's all, like it's a centralized accounting tool. You can use a Google Sheet for that and link to like a block, like you have payments are on the blockchain already, and then you can just use a Google Doc.
Yeah, which is what we're doing actually, because we make a sheet to pay for. So we don't even trust our own accounting tool, which is interesting.
Yeah, no, I very much agree that it's maybe a bit early to do it. So when we don't need the triple check anymore because we trust our own accounting tool and it all goes flawlessly and there are no bugs, and we have the tokens and all these things, and we officially launch our MVP, then we can do it. But right now, I completely agree to just keep it for people who are in Giveth and nobody else for now, because otherwise it's just gonna damage the idea of what, people are going to say, well, that's not working right, and that's not what we want.
There's another issue with the DApp, because accounting tool is something different than a donation tool. And we started off with a donation tool and we built an accounting tool. And accounting is always something that you do after you did something. So that's how we use the DApp. Like you file a milestone and you say, I did this last week, right? And so that's accounting, but the way we envisioned Giveth was like, I file a milestone, this is what I am going to do. And then somebody can give me money to accomplish that goal, which is completely different. You need like different UI for that as well. So I think, that is the main issue that I have with the DApp is like, okay, we wanted to build a donation tool, but we built an accounting tool. So the way I envision it should happen is like this. I file a milestone and I say, I'm going to work on the DApp next week, fixing issues and building feature X, for example, right? And then I can raise some donations for that. And if I don't get enough donations, then I won't do it or do half of it. And then when I complete my milestone, that's the moment that I do the accounting. Then I file the proof. Like, hey, here's the GitHub link, or here's my receipt, or whatever. But that's not how we used it. I think apart from the contracts, we really have to think about how we want other people to use our DApp. Are we just like Giveth accounting, or are we a donation tool?
Hey, I want to reply to that, which I totally agree with, and that's kind of was the vision of the DApp, and that's not how we're using it. Quasia and social coding also is on a mission to see if we can like use it with the purpose of like, stating what you want to get done, get the donations, and then do that. And so that's going to require a little bit different structure. Honestly, I think if we kept the changes in the metadata, like if we just change the milestone metadata to say like, hey, here it is now, here it is later, here it is later, just kind of like attach new evidence to it, the DApp would be fine. Like, I don't think it's that. We just need to attach maybe some feathers metadata to the milestone so it looks like it's being updated. But I do want to, I guess, I have like a different hypothesis, which I worry, which I think we'll run into, which is that human beings don't really like saying what they're going to do in the future. And when we do say what we're going to do in the future, we're wrong half the time anyways. And so I agree that we're not using the milestones correctly the way they were intended. But I think half of the reason is just the fact that human beings are bad at doing it that way, period. On top of that, we're also abusing it incredibly. So I just want us to give ourselves like room in our like philosophy that, or, you know, psychology that, hey, as we're trying to force people to say what they're going to do, put the money up and then do it, and we realize it's not working as like naturally as the human process is sometimes, just to keep our eyes open for like other potential solutions. All right, that's it.
Yeah, I agree with, I agree with us on this as well, that it's way more than an accounting tool. And indeed, it's also the fact that we work with regular rewards. So the people who are now using it mostly as a post-fact accounting tool are the people who are receiving regular rewards. So that makes sense. When we open up the tool and when it's completely ready, then that's even for Giveth going to change immediately, because I now have, for example, Joanna, who has been working on a video. I just asked Lansky to do some review work. These are things that he can already propose as a milestone now, to say that he's going to do the same thing with Joanna for the work that she's going to do, and then she does that before it's done, and then we can fund. Then I can fund this. So I think it's a matter of time, but there is accounting. It's like it's the payments in the system that are going to help us to funds are an important part of what we do and what other charities are going to do or nonprofits are going to do. We create transparency with this. So accounting is a part of this, but it's pejorative to say that it's just accounting. It's creating transparency and automating that process.
I want to throw out there that the Scaling Now campaign, like there's the milestones, but then there's also the DAC and the campaign level, right? So the campaign level is what we're using now. And for Scaling Now, we raised money through the campaign and we said what we're going to do. Then we did it, and we had mostly expenses to do it. And we didn't know exactly how that would all go. And but we raised money through the campaign. It is a donation. The campaigns right now is a donation tool, and then the and for Giveth, the DAC itself is a donation tool, and then we go to the milestones for transparency on how those donations are spent. And so it is not the real problem with the DApp right now is we don't have these tokens, so we can't really do it the way we'd like, where it's like you raise some money from givers and you let the givers talk about what, or like voice their opinion by sending money to different milestones. We don't have that a functionality yet, but we will soon. But for now, it's still like really useful to raise donations through a campaign and then transparently allocate those donations to the milestones.
Good point.
I do think that having DApp node give it a shot, and then since those are all Giveth people trying to run a campaign, I think that we'll learn more about this process and get more functionality. And I think that might be true with other groups as well.
I think the only thing you should know is the delay that it's gonna, like, payments are always like very far delayed, right, through the DApp. So it might take a month to get your payment. So that's something to be aware of, I guess, if you decide to use the DApp.
I think I do. Are you aware of that?
Hopefully it gets faster, but
no, for me it's not a problem. It's up to you if you want to use the DApp or the DApp or not. I don't have problem. Indeed, I can wait.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, the real slow thing is like not having someone who's just pushing the triple payments, right? Like if we had somebody that was just like really auditing and triple checking, that was like, this is their job, and they pushed it, then I think it would happen a lot faster, obviously.
I take a little issue with that. Not a ton though, but it's like, to me, the triple check was like a kind of like taking a bazooka to something, and it's like, okay, good. Once you do something like that, it should be kind of done, you know, like. And then doing it a second time was like, okay, cool, double bazooka, right? But the triple check is at least the process. It did get a lot faster with the sheet and stuff. That to me doesn't seem like a sustainable thing that I would like put on the users, you know, like that often. I think it should be kind of like reserved for like, hey, it's this quarter's thing. Everyone, let's triple check. But I don't know what if it's gonna. I don't think it's sustainable for making it like part of the ongoing process. You know, it's like there's no reason why Edu should have triple check if we've done it twice to make sure things are working or something like that.
At this point, okay.
That's my, sorry.
Yeah, I agree with you, Oz, but I think at this point, it's like the triple check, really the only purpose it's serving is because reviewers aren't doing their job, right? And so if one reviewer is not enough to trust, then we need to add 2 reviewers to a campaign, and both of them need to sign off. Like I think this triple check was like useful the first time to make sure like the Arthur script worked, and maybe even a second time. But at this point, going like from now on, I think it's just the only reason to keep using it is because you don't trust the reviewers. And if that's the issue, then like we need to fix that and adapt.
That's really interesting. Okay, so that if that indeed is the case, then yeah, it seems like there's 2 solutions. One is adding another reviewer, like RJ said, that probably would require code but more bugs. And 2 could be just like reducing the selection size of the reviewer. Like right now, I know we have kind of like a social choose everyone sort of a thing. And but if there's one person that's more qualified to be a reviewer on these things, you know, for Edu or for other people to make it a little easier, maybe that'd be another savings. Just thought.
We were talking in Paris about making it so the reviewer has to opt in to be a reviewer.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting. I was also wondering, like now we have this this thing that everyone, you can just pick your own reviewer. So wouldn't it maybe be relevant that we say we have like 3 reviewers who opt in, who say I have time to review, and we already know that these people do this very thoroughly, and that we just have like, I don't know, a pool of 3 people, and these people also receive a milestone or reward for doing this. Because yeah, last triple check really took almost a month to just get triple checked, and that's a bit annoying for everyone, I think.
I have a better solution. Because right now there's also no incentive for the reviewer to do the review in time. So what about if the reviewer like needs to stake like, I don't know, 0.1 Ether, and then if he reviews correctly, you know, he gets his stake back and some fee, so he has like incentive to review. If he doesn't review on time, he loses, or something like, you know, he's like not trustworthy, he loses his stake, or the stake goes up the next time he wants to review, something like that.
I agree there is no incentive for reviewing in a timely fashion.
There's no incentive to do it good, and there's no incentive to do it in time. So yeah, it's like a failing system. I mean, even if you put 2 reviewers, there's no incentive. Like, imagine that me and Chris are reviewing your milestone, then, okay, I don't do anything, and then Chris what is he going to do? He's like, okay, he's going to review your milestone like in 1 second. It's like still no incentive to do it better than one person. Unless he travels to Rotterdam and kicks my ass.
Yeah, the only issue that I think it's a great idea if like the first reviewer staked and then the second reviewer was able to take that stake if it was a low quality milestone, right? Like have some kind of system like that, because you need a second reviewer on the first reviewer to hold the first reviewer accountable anyway. But if you also wanted to go, the problem with that is that then you really disincentivize reviewing at all. Because what does the reviewer get besides not
reward?
Money?
You get your stake back plus a reward, like a percentage of the milestone. So you can even become a professional reviewer.
Yeah. And this is like the review DAO, which I think we talked about like a year ago almost, maybe not even, but like in our meeting in Berlin, we briefly discussed this idea of a independent third party that would incentivize the review process. We could start that. We could start a review campaign.
I think that would be a good idea to do that. Even I really like the thing that Satya proposes, but I guess that also involves code. So maybe we can indeed start with, for now, a campaign in which we reward some people who volunteer to do reviews, and then we will get these through way quicker, and that would be amazing because then they're incentivized both on detail and on time. Because indeed, if you have a second checker, if the first one does a lousy job, well, then I don't think we'll pick him again. We won't pay that person again in the campaign.
Yeah, good proposal for Lumio.
I think so. I think it'll be fun to make a review DAO in general, and like reviewer DAO or something along those lines. And I'll try to put that on my week unless someone else really wants to run with that idea.
Oh no, you can do that, Griff. But yeah, maybe practical. What? Just thinking out loud. But you could indeed maybe say, so that we don't have to change the system and start with this ASAP, because we have lots of milestones still needing to be paid out. You could say, okay, there's like 2 people. We reduce it to 2 reviewers in the system, or however many we have, and that the second check again happens in a sheet. Right, because there's only 1 review happening in the system right now, and then we can have a double check still in a sheet, something like that. Whatever, just giving inspiration.
I do reward everybody who's not a full member of Giveth with reward points for triple checking, but
I think like it should be on the campaign managers to only accept milestones that have like trusted reviewers, right? So I don't know if we need to limit this, like only 3 reviewers that can review all campaigns, but certain people are more qualified to review a given campaign than another. And so maybe that should be part of the process before you would accept a proposed milestone, is that the reviewer is like one of X reviewers that are trusted, and then we don't need this triple check stage.
There's another incentive. Maybe the campaign manager should be the reviewer, because in the end, the campaign holds the funds that are going to be spent by the milestones. So it's in the interest of the campaign manager to have that money spent well, or the campaign runs out of money. So maybe the only reviewer should be the campaign manager.
But isn't that the reviewer 0? Because now people proposed milestones to my campaign. I think I'll be able to see. I didn't see them, but you fixed the paging thing, so I think I'll see it now. But I'm the reviewer 0, so I won't accept that milestone if I don't do a quick check like that, right? Before there's like the thorough check. So that's already a first check. That is an extra one, right? If you see what I mean.
Okay, but once you accept my proposed milestone, afterwards I can edit it, right? And
That's
then
true.
I can complete it, mark it as complete, and can be something completely different than you accepted. And your money is being spent in a milestone. So maybe you should be the reviewer.
Well, the thing is, they already act as a reviewer. So if they are a reviewer, then there's only one ever reviewer. It's like the campaign manager gets to. They accept the proposed milestone, and then they say it happened. So they don't have an independent third party at all.
Yeah.
Right. I see that Satya's side of the argument, but then there's the other side of the argument. Like there's no neutral third party, like as an arbitrator, right? If the person doing the work is like, yeah, I did this work, it's exactly what I said I was going to do, and then the campaign reviewer or the campaign owner could be like, no, I don't want to pay you because I want to keep the funds, even though you did the work already. And so like you need the like other side.
Damn it, my phone failed.
Okay, so Griff, it's
Sounds like a good
yours.
Lumio proposal to
Yeah.
think a bit more about.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of data that can come out of this too, like some kind of service that the DApp could provide to track reviewer progress. Like we were talking about that in Paris a little bit. Like, you know, how long did it take after it was proposed to be accepted, and that judges on the campaign manager. And then how long, and then you could have like a competition between campaign managers. Oh, look, it takes Griff forever to accept proposed milestones, you know, and then what a loser. And then you, for the reviewers, you can have the same kind of leaderboard where it's like, oh, look who takes forever. You know, we can have like reputation incentives.
I knew it was going to inspire you to gamify this, Griff. So I think I'm looking forward to that Lumio proposal.
A lot of that was conversation with Wojtek, Sacha, and RJ in Paris. So.
Guys, I have to go. So this was a nice chat.
Wait, I just really want to express my excitement right now. I just proposed 2 milestones in the Giveth governance campaign. So, yay, everybody. Thank you so much for all your help with that.
Okay.
I'm really excited.
So, bye, Satya, if you have to go. I just had
next week. Bye.
Yeah, Griff, I wanted to ask now that we'll have it on Lumio as well, but you won't be able to answer questions on Lumio. So can you explain a little bit what is the background, what is the tension for after just having 2 team meetings? Actually, Barcelona was like the official one. Why you want to have a new one immediately again? If Griff is still there. Yeah.
Sorry. It's not really immediate. It's more than a month from now in Barcelona. And it's really, the idea was it was 6 weeks after meeting this time in Barcelona. So, and it was the Barcelona one, we didn't really get to meet because Scaling Now kind of like preempted anything that we're doing for a lot of the team. Definitely the governance team didn't feel like they got to talk with each other. And there seems to be enough people in Barcelona already at that time, I think, to make it seem like an option. And, you know, if it's something that doesn't seem like a good idea for comms or these groups, you know, I'm really excited to hear that, especially in the Lumio. But, you know, the details about this potential meetup would be really interesting to hear. Oh, Yalda, you can say goodbye to us.
Hi.
Bye, Yalda.
Yeah, the cafe I'm at is closing, so. All right, I'll talk to you all later.
Bye, Yalda.
Bye.
Yeah, no, I'm always big time in favor, so already voted yes, of course. But I was just wondering if there was a specific thing that happened or what was discussed, because I already had big time FOMO for Paris, and now I was wondering, like, was there something specific that was like the cause of or attention that you made this proposal? That was all.
Yeah, the main tension is that we didn't actually get to meet up in Barcelona or Paris because we were distracted by conferences, and it was just a bad idea. This one will be like it'll be good to meet up and maybe do a mini hackathon style of a meetup, less structured, more focused on work and brainstorming. And then a lot of people will be going to, in like a week after that, a lot of people will be going to Toronto, or some people will be going to Toronto for that conference. So it might be good to like put our heads together before that.
Cool.
Anyone else have ideas about that or want to comment on this topic?
I think in general, trying to do meetups with conferences is a bad idea. Like in the same, it never seems to work out very well. Or you're just like they're both tiring, and so sure you can do a meetup first, but then your conference is like you're useless for the conference.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Oh yeah, and Griff, no, I didn't put it in the Lumio, I think. So maybe also saying it here for Lindsay, is she's probably also gonna help organize this. what I would really love is great if we do like hacking stuff together, getting stuff done together, but would be great if we could have also really plan one thing, and that's planning one day of doing nothing together. I mean, or doing like going for a walk together, or having some fun, or going somewhere cool that we can just talk personally and really connect, because that's also the feedback, by the way, that Jen asked me to give for the next team meeting, because yeah, in Cancun we were also really busy all the time, and so just planning in some time to just bond and connect. Oh, Lindsay,
yeah, sure.
Someone's saying something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that needs to be proposed and decided upon as a group, but if it is something we're doing, I'd be happy to plan a day or an afternoon or something with you like that. So we'll talk about that further.
Great.
Anybody else have any topics they want to discuss before we call it? Yeah.
I wanted to know what's up with circles, and I wanted to propose that we get like a governance circle meeting for stuff like that. So to sync up more the administrative side of other projects coming in. I don't know.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So Circles, well, one of the guys from Circles is sitting right there, Andy from MakerDAO, and he's actually giving a meetup talk tomorrow that we're going to support, that we just threw together for him, so he can talk about universal basic income on the blockchain. Circles is probably, at least to me, I've looked at a lot of universal basic income projects because I like the idea, but I've never seen a way that it could happen. This is the first one I've ever seen that has promise at all. It's still a long shot. Let me just throw that out there. It's hard to do this, but these guys are committed. They obviously have the funding because blockchain is blockchain, and they want to align with Giveth. So they are fully aware that our DApp sucks, but they are still really excited about just putting a campaign up. Problem I have with it is that it feels a little like, you know, buddy, and I don't really like that. Like, although I am buddy with them, it feels like an abuse of Giveth to like put them on when we're not really doing that with anyone else, because it might be a slippery slope. But other than that, I really do want to do it because they are amazing, and there is like a little bit of bump for Giveth too, because a lot of the big wigs in Ethereum and a lot of important, relatively important people follow Circles closely and are excited about the potential of this project. The other piece of it is that they want to do a pilot here in Barcelona, where they actually do give people the currency and they try to push it. So yeah, that's the rundown. I'll be able to tell you more when I live stream his meetup tomorrow.
Nice. Thanks for the intro. Yeah. And the other part was how can we all interface on these coming changes or should it be in another circle, or what do you think? Should that be I think it kind of will warrant its own structure in coming down that we onboard so many. I mean, the question of onboarding comes up all the time now.
Does anyone else have a comment on that?
So maybe I should work on something, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think right now it's kind of like if you didn't help build this thing, or if you're not like connected with the people building it, because really only RJ, Wojtek, and Sacha are building it. Oz had a hand in it. Edu had a hand in it. I have an advisory role. Other people promote it. Like, we're all part of it, but it's like it's RJ, Sacha, and Wojtek's baby, and so I do like giving them kind of. I feel like they have more authority than anyone else on this. The only reason I'm happy to push Edu is because he needs it to get paid, like invoice. and like that's just how he's doing it with Giveth. And so if he can continue that for his second project, it makes a lot of sense. But onboarding at this stage is kind of stupid. With circles, they would only really just make a campaign and do it in sort of like a, you know, exposure way. I don't think they would put any milestones and just be a way to raise funds, like without doing the ICO. And then they get to do our leaderboard. And I do think that they would, I mean, there are a bunch of devs, so they would like kick up, we might end up getting some extra help on our DApp if we do that. But that's really for discussion on Lumio and over next week, unless anyone has any comments on it.
Yeah, actually, that's what I wanted to say, or when I meant the organization about the around the things, you know, how this needs a lot of communication and you know. So Lumio is a good. You answered it yourself. You said Lumio.
Well, it doesn't sound like anyone has any comments on that.